It is the riot. Everybody stretch.
You really want to start this podcast stretched, ready to go, almost like you treat it like a workout.
Yeah.
Yawnings.
You gotta get warmed up. You can't just roll in here off the street.
Yawnings including. So give a stretch, give a yawn, and then you're ready to absorb our podcast today.
So things we get into in the podcast today, we talk about Wonder Woman in China. McDonald's has got a new burger in China. Wow, there's 2 Chinas. What Christmas is happening with me. Mm-hmm. Maybe certain orders getting canceled.
Uh-oh.
Maybe I don't make it back tomorrow. We'll see.
He'll explain more in it.
Yeah. Let's see. Outsider observations of Christmas. Can you eat pythons? We talk about the college football playoffs. And, something the government has come up with for Space Force that I think... I don't know. Is it a joke? Is it not a joke?
You also, we didn't mention afterwards, but Guardian is a term in Destiny as well.
The game.
So
Destiny 2.
It's not just like Guardians from Guardians in the Galaxy, but it's also from that too.
Oh, jeez. And finally, the show wraps up with Batman Syndrome.
Perfect, right?
You'll get it right away.
You'll understand, and I think you're going to feel Obi's frustration now that other shows are doing it too.
It's out there. Someone has got to put a stop to it.
Well, make sure to check out, if you missed it still from over the weekend, our ugly Christmas sweater party that Obi and I hosted on Thursday night. You can watch that when you're done with the podcast. Follow us and get notifications and subscribe to RadioU Riot on Facebook and our YouTube channel.
All right. Anything else?
Have a fantastic day.
All right. Enjoy.
We're almost to Christmas. Bye-bye.
The riot isn't all bad, but this is the worst of the riot. Radio U.
I had somebody stop me yesterday when I was out and about and say, "Hey, Obadiah, you excited about Wonder Woman 1984?
Is this what people stop you on the street for? They want to know?
Yeah, they talked to me about it. So I was like, yeah, but after The Mandalorian this weekend, anything and everything, nothing's going to top that.
That's all I saw. So that was the finale, right, for the second season?
It was. It was nuts. It was nuts.
But in a good way?
In a way that I could have, it was just one of those things you were like, I can't even believe this is happening right now.
Again, that's all I saw was about Mandalorian over the weekend on Facebook.
I'll just tell you, when you got to the end of the episode, I literally finished the episode standing up.
You did?
There was a point at which I stood up.
Was that exciting?
I didn't think to myself, I should stand up now. I just did. And I was just like,
Oh, goodness. Well,
I think I watched the ending 3 times.
You had something good then, so that was nice to be able to watch it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say any more about it, but that night Wonder Woman conversation happened, and they were probably asking me because it got released in China over the weekend.
Oh, and what are people saying?
Well, they're saying that in China, where there's roughly 1 billion people, Wonder Woman made $38 million.
Is that good?
No,
or that's not good?
That's not. That is not.
Well, I was curious
what they were looking for.
Do they still have restrictions for movie theater things? Is it just not a big franchise in China or internationally? You
know what? They say that in general, the movie market in China is down 30 to 40% of what it would normally be.
So it's just cooled down.
Yes. And that's because
of COVID.
The other problem is that there was a Chinese action film that was much anticipated in China called The Rescue. I don't know what it's about, et cetera, but it was also an action film, and they say that
people chose it over Wonder Woman.
It probably stole some of the Wonder Woman shine. It made less, just barely less than Wonder Woman, but it kind of split the box office there. So
made something at least. I mean, that's a pretty good amount of money. A lot of times, like here, when a movie comes out, they're like, well, it's made $3 million, and it was number 1 because we just don't have theaters open.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
So that's something, and that's just China. I'm sure it opened up other places or will.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that's true. Like, it'll do international box office, and it's going to be opening here on Friday. Mm-hmm. If you want to go to the movies on Christmas.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Drive by every so often. We have several movie theaters like in a triangle, not a Bermuda, but a triangle, if you will. And it's always crowded for even limited showings.
You mean like now?
Yeah. There's still people going. Well, so I assume Christmas Day will still be popular in a limited way.
I'm sure you're probably right. My game plan is, I'm sorry to say, it's going to be on HBO Max.
You're going to watch it there.
That's where it's going to get watched. Sorry, Hollywood.
No, sorry, movie theater companies as well.
Yes, I believe in you, Marcus Cinemas. I've given you money for a long time. I'm staying home.
At least in this case, we're going to try this out on HBO Max.
I'll be back, though, eventually. Absolutely, for sure.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, Internet, the worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, how much money do you have right now?
Right now, maybe $40. I got some cash on me.
Do you?
I have some cash.
I have a 10 and a 5.
Whoa, we normally don't carry any cash.
I know, it must be a strange time of year for me to be walking around with money.
It's the holidays. You never know when someone might give you a few dollars.
Come on.
So I think that's why.
That being said, I've got maybe another $600 coming.
Oh, so for the stimulus stuff.
Just hold tight. So Congress is set to vote on a bill today, and it looks like it's probably going to pass. You know how they've had, like, we've got this bill and that bill and whatever, and I'll die before I see this happen. And
well, it seems like they've had quite a while to work on it, and I think they want to finally push that through.
It looks like it's going to happen. So this would be $600 stimulus checks for most Americans. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's a scale.
Well, if you didn't qualify for one, like if you make too much money for the last one, then I assume you're not getting this one too.
Probably
not.
It also issues enhanced federal jobless benefits of $300 per week for 11 weeks. And basically what's happening is the stimulus package that's coming directly to Americans, they're kind of cutting it in half.
Sure.
If you look at what they did the last time around, even though it's still an enormous stimulus package, instead of a $1,200 check, you get $600. Instead of federal unemployment that is going to be $600 extra, it would be $300 extra. The good news is I haven't looked at the bill myself, but I'm sure they fattened it up by sliding lots of other things in there.
That's the real big downfall to that is they put a lot of other stuff in there and it then just blows up and it gets so big.
Yeah. Here you go. I've got $600 checks for individual taxpayers earning under $75,000 per year, and their child dependents. So that would mean that if you make like as an individual taxpayer, if you make less than $75,000, you get $600. That's $150,000 for a dual income family, and then however many dependents you have, you also get $600 for that. Yeah.
And this should be early in January, they said.
Yes. So you know
and
what?
Maybe it'll be easier because if you got yours, when the last one happened.
It took a while for me to get mine.
Well, it took a while, and it took a while for us to just get it all set up and ready to go. But, now that that's already done, hopefully it should be seamless and you would just see it in your account.
Yeah. And then what are you going to get?
No, we're not. It's okay. Now, this is what happened last time.
Nikki, it's a stimulus package. You're supposed to go out and stimulate the economy.
No, and we all said that last time. And the problem is that no one thought back when the last one happened that this would go this long. And I know that TVs went out of stock. Like all the summer fun stuff went out of stock because people spent it. But if this is supposed to be to help you with bills or other things, are we supposed to just go spend it on a TV?
Nikki, if you want to be a responsible American.
I feel like we need to, since this is our second one. I think we do.
Which means you got to get out there and spend it.
You need to be responsible, and you're going to have to pay it back one way, shape, or form later. So you want to be responsible.
It comes off your taxes or something. I don't even want to file next year. Just forget it.
I think I'm just going to save this one.
I might get like a little something.
Well, okay. Well, then maybe a dinner, a nice dinner.
Sure.
I'll have it brought to me.
I was going to say, we know what that means. Nikki, when Nikki says a nice dinner, she's talking about DoorDash people.
I will have it sent to me.
You're not fooling me. I know what's going on.
I think that's what the plan should be.
I know what's going on.
If not, something small, I think is fine, but I don't think we should wipe it out like a lot of us did last time.
Like something nice, delivered.
Well, don't you remember you'd go to Costco or anywhere and it's like there's nothing. None of the big items were still there because everybody spent all their money on it.
I like you, Nikki.
Why?
You're funny. Because it's like, save your money. Like a DoorDash.
Well, dinner.
Maybe
one
just
dinner.
one.
Just one, something on the weekend. Something fun.
Well, something, it's going to be, maybe it'll be cold where you are.
Oh my gosh, maybe that. And then we'll watch a movie or something. We'll have a new thing. But that's it. That's all.
We would give the Riot flowers to show our appreciation, but Obadiah is probably allergic. What isn't he allergic to? This is the Riot on RadioU.
In China, they're time travelers. You understand that, right? That they're ahead of us, that they're wrapping up December 21st, even as we are kicking it off. I really hope I'm getting that right. That's right. They're on the other side of the international date line, right?
You mean, are they ahead or behind?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're ahead.
Pretty sure. So when I say that this is brand new, China has already had 12, 13 hours with this thing. It could be gone for all we know.
It's limited. It's only 400,000. So it's not a nationwide, like, full-time thing. This is a limited amount.
That's right. McDonald's in China has a Spam and Oreo burger.
It is really odd.
So
what is that combination?
It's basically 2 thick slices of Spam.
Yeah.
Like the mystery meat Spam, the leftover ground up, hey, it's still good Spam. All right, there's that. And then it's not officially licensed by Oreo. So it's a...
Spam it is. It has a trademark for Spam, but not for Oreo.
So you've got Spam with chocolate cookies crumbled and some sort of a spread.
So they do say, though, it is officially Oreos on it. It's just not everywhere that they talk about it. The spread is either like a mayonnaise or it's a cream filling sort of one.
It's got to be a cream filling, right?
I think it is, and that's a bun, so it's a sandwich.
They're calling it a burger, even though it's not.
Yeah, it's just so weird looking. It's the Spam part. It's just odd. It's just very odd.
I mean, I've had Spam before. Like, whatever, it's fine. It's not good, but like, it's not.
But I bet you this would be similar to like when we do bacon and chocolate. If you've ever had the combination, it actually really works well. This is probably the same thing.
You really think so?
No, just try to be nice.
I'm trying to not make it awkward.
It's hard to look at the picture of the Spam Oreo thing because it does look like it's mayo on the bun, even though I don't think so. I think it's cream, but my mind's just all a mess with it.
It's not often we come across something on the show that I don't have a lot to say about.
You just don't have anything to say about it.
I don't understand. Okay, where did this come from? Where is the thing where somebody's in a room somewhere and they're like, you know what I love to do, really? I love to cook up some Spam, and then you put an Oreo on it. Where is that a cultural thing? Is that something where it's like, Obadiah, how can you not know? That's one of the biggest Dragon Ball hacks of all time.
Is there something that connects and makes these two combinations work that we just don't know about?
It is a strange
So they're saying
thing.
that it is a cream. It's not mayo, but it is a cream with the Spam and the Oreos. And that's what they're doing. But it's only 400,000 of them. It's limited in China.
All right. Well, it looks awful.
Kristen said I just threw up in my mouth. Have you seen the pictures? It's I don't know. It's just not something that looks good to us.
Yeah, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And I mean that in a way where it's like Spam on its own. Not a fan, but I'd eat it if I had to. Oreos on their own. Am a fan. Will eat whether I have to or not.
Maybe it's weird. Maybe it works out, though. It's one of those weird combinations.
I just don't know.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The worst of the riot podcast. Yeah, you did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. RadioU.
Sorry, Matthew. I'm sorry.
There we go.
You know what? That's a great metaphor for where I'm at right now.
Don't interrupt him.
It's like me and Christmas. We're just not gelling for some reason. Okay. Here's where I'm at with Christmas right now. I'm actually having kind of a hard time. I know a lot of people aren't. I know a lot of people are just buzzing on Christmas like it's a drug and you're having a good time. And you know what? High five and you keep doing that. This is not for you. But for me, I'm not connecting. And this year, more than any year I've ever had, and I just keep remembering bad Christmas memories.
Oh, really?
I have some really bad Christmas memories.
And that's all that's coming to mind during this Christmas?
It is just like, it won't stop. And I'm even like smacking myself in the head, like, would you please knock it off? Please. But I just, to be clear, the majority of my Christmas memories I think are pretty good. But, there's a couple that aren't so great. And they just keep coming at me. It's annoying. And so, what do you do about that? I've done two things. One is I've tried to okay, is there something that I need to process here? Like, do I need to think this through and get on the other side of it? Or is it just annoying and I need to brush it aside?
Sure.
Because just because you think of something doesn't mean I need to sit in this for a while.
Or will it pass?
Right. that might not be a thing. You may actually need to actively ignore it sometimes. And so What I've been doing that has been helping, I mean, I'm not 100% there, is that I actually have been trying to take my focus off of me and even off of the, like the Christmas side of things where like the presents and the this and the that. And I've just been trying to focus on the quote unquote true meaning of Christmas because I find a lot of joy in the relationship that I have with God. And I have found that if I remember, what these songs we're singing, like, what are they about? What is Christmas really about? And trying to drive back to the fact that Christmas is about God reaching out to us, God coming in the middle of our mess and actually being a friend to us and saving us and loving us and healing us and all of that. That actually has been something that has been helping. So I would just say that if you're somebody like me, and this could be as simple as I struggle with depression, like my body, for some reason, my chemicals could be at war, could be triggered from the time of year. I don't know. I don't know what's causing it. I just know that it is. But I also know that I don't want to live in this space. And so I am intentionally focusing in my mind on who God is and what he's about. And if you've never met him, you don't know him, then this is a great opportunity for you to do just that. You could say, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want to have a relationship with you, and I need some help. And if you already know him, you could just do what I'm doing and saying, hey, God, help me get my eyes on something that is not an old bad memory. That's pretty simple, right?
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
All right, grab your phone, get ready to text in case I'm not the only one who got cancellation emails over the weekend.
From what? What's left to cancel?
Not events. Inbound presents.
Oh, because of the shipping stuff? Oh, yeah. Everything shipping-wise is taking so much longer.
I had a company that I bought something from. I'm not going to say what, just in case a person might be listening and they would know it was for them. But I got the email that was like, yeah, no.
Just kidding. Maybe it'll still show up, though.
Not even no, they've refunded my money.
Oh, it canceled. Oh,
I mean, like,
not postponed, then canceled. Oh, no.
Just no.
You feel like personally attacked. You're like, why? What did I do?
Well, it's just one of those things that now this puts me in a present deficit.
Because you're too close to probably guarantee you're still going to get something else. You have to find it in person.
The entire reason I ordered online is so that I would not have to go to this place.
Yeah.
Now I must go there.
Now you have to go get it.
I have to go.
Well, okay.
I have to go now.
I don't know where it was, but maybe it'll turn out fine. Maybe it won't be such a bad thing.
Let me put it to you this way. This involves going into what I would refer to as, it's not as bad as Walmart. Nothing's as bad as Walmart. That's the worst thing that could happen. But it will involve me going into a large shopping center where I will have to park, traverse many places.
How long has it been since you have to do that?
In this particular case, it's been a while. And who wants to do that the week of Christmas?
Ooh, why didn't you wait until Wednesday or Thursday in the evening?
I'll go Wednesday night.
Why don't you see how that is for everybody?
The last time I did this, one day I went shopping on Christmas Eve, but what I did was they had extended hours. They were open at 8. I got there at 7:55, walked in. It was like it hadn't happened yet. Got my stuff and walked right out.
Well, that's a good plan, but
that's not happening today.
I was going to say, don't wait on that one.
I'll be lucky to get there at 1 or 2. I'll be lucky to be home in time to come to the show tomorrow.
Again, shipping has just been super weird with a lot of different places. They're not showing up. They're getting delayed, canceled, postponed. It's just for some it's just really weird.
I had something that's supposed to be delivered to the radio station. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to come today.
Yeah.
And they're like, Wednesday.
Oh, it's getting close. My neighborhood, Facebook group is all full of people just not getting their stuff too, even though they say it's been delivered. It's just gone.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. So, it's been delivered, but it's not there.
Has people stolen it? Not sure, but it's just not showing up. And then what happens is someone else will take it to the carrier that it came from, and so it'll take 3 or 4 days, and it might show back up again.
Oh, dude.
So you might see it, you might not.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We got a supply and demand problem. Demand is high, supply is.
And why'd you have to go cancel Ovi's order like that? Why'd you have to do that?
Canceled.
Why couldn't you you just manage that better?
And I mean, I appreciate the fact that they returned my money immediately, but nothing says this is really over like seeing that refund in your PayPal account.
There's no chance.
Riot Podcast, RadioU.
So here's what we're looking at. How have shopping trends changed while we've been in lockdown? And does it connect to what we're binge watching on Netflix, Hulu, whatever? So it would seem to be yes. Now, this is not necessarily linked to what we're watching, but they say this year there's been a 1,300% increase in the sale of loungewear.
You're like, what's loungewear? It's what you're wearing. So
right now.
Literally right now.
Yes.
You know, like we don't want to wear jeans anymore. You don't want to dress up or anything. It's just basically comfy clothes.
Yeah. You know, when I was working from home during my COVID bout, I wore jeans during the show.
You did?
I did.
Just to kind of feel like you got dressed for the day?
I did. I tried super hard to put my game face on to do the show. And so it was like I got up, I shaved most days, not every day. And then, actually, that's not true. I went a whole week because I was like, it's my COVID beard.
You stopped after a while.
And then I was like, wait, I have to isolate again? No COVID beard this time.
So it's loungewear and leggings, basically, is the thing that rose the most out of our lockdown stuff.
Okay, so the sale of chess sets is up 121%.
So that's from the Queen's Gambit on Netflix.
They say SAD lamps, seasonal affective disorder lamps.
Aww,
got one.
There's one right there. Your trusty one's been around for years, though.
I know. It's starting to get to be time, I think, to change out the light in there. It's already bright enough, though. Gosh.
But those are just for people that have been inside so much. They just wanted to have a bit of, the sunshine feeling.
Yes. So berets, because of Emily in Paris, apparently.
That was a Netflix show.
I know. I just never watched it. I kept seeing the same clip over and over again. Like, I'm sorry that I'm not speaking French.
People hated it, but then so many people watched it because you had nothing.
What else is there to do?
Nothing else to do. And so it's going to get a second season.
Okay. 65% increase in fitness trackers and smartwatches. And it looks like a 45% increase in flat screen TVs.
There's the TVs. Did you see the 33% increase in paint? That's because you're at home and you're redoing your house or your apartment. I
had a roommate that painted a room during the... That's ridiculous. It was like, hey, we're going to get stuck starting March whatever.
Go get the paint.
Went to Home Depot and bought cans of paint.
That's what you do.
What are you doing?
So they're saying the things that have fallen in sales, suitcases, because who's traveling, high heel shoes, suspenders for pants, handbags.
You don't need suspenders to hold up your loungewear.
So handbags, lipstick, alarm clocks, cameras, ironing boards, and lunch boxes all went down in sales.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I know a lot of people use their phones for their alarm clocks. I have a tendency to be so distracted by my phone that I keep it in another room at night. And I got myself one of those Lenovo smart clocks. I love it.
Well, it's probably cheaper now because people are not buying it.
Well, because
who's getting up for what, depending on what your job is.
I don't know if you guys do this, but I am panicked about sleeping in for the riot. And so I look over and check to make sure my alarm's set about 100 times.
All the time.
And with that Lenovo clock, I can say, okay, Blankle, when is the alarm set to go off? And it'll tell me. And then it's like,
you can make sure.
I can go to sleep now.
So feel free to text. Is there anything that you do now or do not have, like from this list, based off of what you're watching, or just how things have changed for everybody with being at home more?
Let's talk about that. Have you got something?
I'll have to think about it.
All right.
You might have to give me a song.
The Riot already bought dumb stuff.
We always did.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on RadioU.
So we were talking about how being locked inside watching too much TV has been affecting.
And I think from this list, it affects like what we buy.
Yes.
But it's not just the shows that you're watching, but just the fact that even if your area is not in lockdown, it's just more people are staying home. So it affects how you dress and what you're buying and what you're doing.
So we had a couple people with their texts, and they said Julia said Good morning. Since March, we've removed old carpet in 2 bedrooms, put down new flooring, and painted.
That's awesome. That's a good way to use your time.
I don't know how to do any of that.
Well, see,
I could rip up carpet, but do you think I know how to put something in its place?
And for some places, it was, during that time, harder to get someone to come out and do it for you if you wanted it. So you had to do it yourself.
Andy says, we've been watching food shows. We put on about 20 pounds, and we bought a brand new 65-inch TV.
Good. To see the food better.
That's right. I mean, if you're going to see food, you might as well see all the 4Ks.
Might as well.
So what did you feel like anything you've watched has gotten you to...
I couldn't really think of anything. Definitely just have gotten through more shows, but it hasn't really led to anything. But outside of just I wear leggings more now than ever, there hasn't really been anything from the list.
Yeah. I think the closest I got was I bought early in the year... seeing what was coming, I upgraded my computer.
Yeah.
Which I did with Christmas money from last year. I'm really glad I did that because my computer at home became one of the most important things in my whole life, which is so sad to say.
And that's not just for play, everybody.
No,
that's
not.
For work as well before you go judging.
Yeah, don't get too judgy. Like the amount of... I have done more work for my home computer this year than maybe my entire life combined. Like, it is not a toy anymore.
And it would have been hard to find some of those items the longer you would have waited this year. So it was good that you upgraded when you did.
It was. And then I bought the Oculus Quest 2, which was not commercial related. That was me having COVID and being like, I do what I want.
And you don't have it anymore. Just like you don't have COVID. So that's good. You got rid of both.
COVID and the Oculus Quest 2 are gone.
It didn't last long.
I think, you know what? Like, I might take my Christmas money this year and replace it. I would like to have it back, but I had to, on principle, I had to replace.
Sure. Well, give yourself some time. Wait until like the end of January or February, because I think you'll get people who bought it for Christmas that don't want it. So I think you can
buy it used.
Yeah, I think you get a better deal that way.
That may be true.
Because, again, there's many more of yous out there who just need to sell it for some reason.
She ain't lying.
So you might as well wait.
She ain't lying.
Just like if you want a new TV, just wait. Well, Super Bowl used to be the time, but I wonder, like, if that'll have the same when it comes to TV buying was great, like in January, February.
I realize we're still talking about money with what I'm about to say, but TVs are cheap. I saw it was like a 70-inch Sharp Aquos over the weekend. So, I mean, not necessarily like the ultimate top of the line,
but just fine.
70-inch TV for $500.
Mm-hmm.
And I just look at that and go, wait, what?
It used to be way more than that.
So, I mean, like, basically, if your financial situation is halfway decent and you want a TV that's bigger than you are, it's within reach. It is. Like, it's crazy. Sorry, I digress.
A little side note there.
I keep my eyes. I should learn to watch the stock market, and instead I'm like, well, TVs are down.
Bye. Bye.
People win awards for being the best at things. Are there awards for the worst? Because we have a contender. Worst of the Riot podcast.
Did you see the thing that went
viral?
Man.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Listen,
it's Monday. Don't get down on yourself. Everybody's tired.
So it was the Muslim guy who celebrated Christmas with his
roommates.
Yeah,
I did
see that. And he'd never celebrated Christmas before.
This was his first time. He wasn't really going home to spend time with his parents. So growing up Muslim, he never celebrated Christmas. But now with his roommates, they want to teach him how to have a proper Christmas celebration.
Some of the observations are fantastic.
I know.
The first one is actually my favorite one. He says Christmas is a part-time job that you have from mid-November to the end of December.
That's the perfect way to describe it.
It is. He says, from the outside looking in, Christmas always seems simple. I always thought you put up a tree and then gave gifts. This is a lie.
It's not simple at all.
He's absolutely right. Talks about how you can't sleep in. People have very strong feelings about Christmas traditions. If someone is insisting that certain food is what you have to eat Christmas morning because that's their family tradition, do not suggest alternatives.
Well, I think it'd be very unique for him because I think he has a few roommates. So it's not just like one person's perspective on Christmas. It's a bunch of people's. So you're getting a real look at people's traditions.
Okay. He says your gift budget doesn't matter.
That's true.
Whatever you set as your perfect gift No, whatever your budget is, your perfect gift will always be $10 more.
That's smart. That's
Man,
right.
That is so true. Oh my gosh. There are two types of Christmas ornaments, the fillers and the keepers.
Yes.
Fillers are generic. The second is stored to be passed on to your grandchildren. Mm-hmm. Then he talks about spending $16 on an ornament and how he better be passing it down. And then let's see. He also says that he's had a good time. He likes Christmas music and buying gifts, but he doesn't like peppermint.
Oh, he doesn't like peppermint?
Oh, man. Peppermint's like one of my favorite parts.
Well, he's new. Maybe he'll grow into liking it.
He needs a chance?
Yeah, he just needs, you're not even to Christmas yet. He still has a few days.
Yeah.
I thought that was a neat observation of all the stuff he was noticing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I hope he has a Merry Christmas, and I hope he finds, a little more to Christmas than that. But that is a pretty fair rundown. I love that kind of stuff. Someone who's outside your culture or observing it. I always think about great conversations I've had. Anytime somebody's visiting from another country, I know I should ask them about their country.
Yeah.
But I love hearing what they have to say about us.
But it was nice. He's doing it in a nice way, too. Because
he did.
There's a lot of people who would not be so kind on Christmas, maybe if you were outside and now doing it. But I thought some of the takes on it were pretty fair.
Christmas is, I think we could say fairly, it's complicated. And depending on how you want to celebrate it, it can be a really awesome thing or not. Myself, the thing, again, I talked about it earlier in the show that I've been trying very hard to focus on this year, again, is more on Jesus and what that's about and a little less on the other stuff. And yet here I am trying to get deals online.
Because it doesn't take away all the other stuff. It's still there.
That's right. You still better have some presents.
Just don't try to focus completely on that only.
If you ain't got a present, I don't want your presents. If you know what I'm saying. That's Christmas.
He's teasing. That's not it at all. Maybe.
A little.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Okay. So, what we have here is Florida.
Yeah.
Florida is not a good place. It's not. It's America's drain.
It's, the stories, but there are some wonderful people there.
That's probably true. But I'm just telling you, I think, and this is a theory that is only just now starting to formulate for me, and I talked about it last week, but I think we need winter. I think everybody needs some time to sit in their house and think about what they've done.
You need some cold weather, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the problem with Florida is nobody has to do that. They can keep going outside so they don't reflect.
Sure.
And they need some time to reflect. And they need to kill them snakes.
And the snakes just keep thriving because there's not cold enough temperatures to stop them.
Yeah. So I'll tell you right now, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission is collaborating with the Florida Department of Health.
It's a collab?
It's a collab.
Oh, what are they doing?
They're putting out some snake shoes.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding. I just made that up. No, but what they are trying to get a look at is they want to see if all these snakes that are out there are fit for consumption. So you could start eating them.
Oh, gross. Oh, meaning like if you went out and killed them, you can then just take them home?
Sure enough. Or you could go to like let's say you go to a restaurant and they're like, oh, we got some fresh snake.
If you're ever in the Everglades part, like I think snake and alligator, I thought you could eat those anyways, but maybe you could go out and get it without the processing fee or something. I don't know.
They say one of the issues they have is the mercury level in these Burmese pythons.
Oh, for that snake. Oh, are you allowed to eat those or not?
You know what? That's what they're trying to figure out.
And it's so big, like it would have so much on it.
So here's a quote from the Wildlife Commission. It's early on in the process for the mercury study. We're currently in the tissue collection stage of the project. COVID has pushed the timeline back, but the plan is to have most of these samples come from pythons that are caught by our contractor program.
Oh, I think they need to just look around locally because I'm sure people have been eating them for a while.
That may be true. Just to look for signs of mercury poisoning?
No, see what's happened to them. Maybe check around. Do a study there.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing. They want to find out.
With the locals.
No, that is what they're doing.
I didn't know if they were doing it like, here's the special snake group where we're testing what happens.
No, what they're doing is basically that contractor program is a couple things. One, you can kill as many snakes as you want in Florida. Kill all the pythons you want. And they are saying they will pay you Like if you bring a snake to them, they'll pay you for it. And so that's what they're doing is they're just collecting these dead snakes from the
people from the Everglades.
And they're testing them to see if they can.
Don't check with me yet. Like, we're not to the point where snakes have to be eaten, but I'm
going to stay out.
Say in like levels. You've got like cow, chicken, turkey. Like, where does a snake land in that list of like, would you eat a lamb before that? Or
Absolutely.
What would you do?
Would
you eat an alligator before a snake? Is snake at the very bottom for you because you hate him anyways?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you'd eat an alligator before then?
Yeah, I mean, it's a psychological issue because obviously, I mean, meat is meat. I know they taste different, but like you could survive that way. But that's the key word, okay? Survival.
Survival if you have to. Like for me, it'd be really hard to eat like a frog or a squirrel. Just the little things.
Fine. It's fine. I'll eat it.
You'll eat that, but again, not a snake.
You know what? I don't like lizards in general.
Sure.
Sorry, lizards. I just don't like you. Maybe it was V that did that to me. I don't know, but I don't like them. So I don't want to eat them.
So it doesn't matter what the study says. You don't have to worry about it. He's not eating snake anyways.
One would think like, oh, you like mammals, so you eat them. You are a mammal. Yep, I'm sick. Look at me.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So Saturday, one of my naps did in fact happen during a...
Maybe the more boring time.
Well, you know, that Ohio State Northwestern game was a frustrating exercise in college football observation.
Sure.
You know, being a spectator.
Some spectacular moments to it.
Absolutely it did.
But then some others which were not so good.
It was a rough watch. Now, as a result of the outcome of that game, Ohio State won. Ohio State will be playing Clemson in the Sugar Bowl
on January 1st.
January 1st, college football playoff. So that's supposed to kick off at 8:45 p.m. on ESPN. Mm-hmm. The Rose Bowl, which will be on at 5 p.m. Eastern, ESPN, will see number 1 Alabama going up against number 4 Notre Dame.
So this is kind of interesting in case you wonder how this is going to look. So for the Sugar Bowl, if you want to go see the game, for other college football games, you know, fans have not been allowed in. For the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, you can. There'll be 3,000 fans that are allowed to purchase tickets. Tickets are long gone, but you can purchase tickets through a second market, you know, like a reseller, and they're going for about $1,100 each at this point.
StubHub.
Yeah, and other places.
It just goes to show you, like, for you and I, the average person, we can't buy anything at retail again, ever.
Never, ever.
Want a PlayStation? Can't have it. Want a ticket to an event? Can't have it.
Can't have it.
You got to go to a reseller to buy it.
So this is the other side of it, though. So if you're interested in watching Alabama and Notre Dame, they're playing in Dallas. Dallas is allowed to have 16,000 fans in the stadium for that game. Now, the reason
that's more than 5 times as many.
Exactly. They gave Dallas to Alabama and Notre Dame because Alabama is the number 1 seed. So they felt that their fans deserved the chance to go and be a part of that game more than, Clemson and Ohio State.
Okay.
So that's why they were given that one.
I don't know what Alabama's fandom is like. Obviously, they're terrible people.
Stop it.
I don't know. I'm, of course, very familiar with how intense Ohio State fandom is. So I don't know.
It must be more because, the committee itself said that they deserve then to have more fans and more families be a part of the opportunity because they're number 1.
Yeah. And, Alabama's number 1 every year, blah, 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 whatever. Blah, 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 whatever.
So you've got the playoffs, so the Sugar Bowl, and then the Rose Bowl, and then the national championship will be played later.
Okay. Well, the national championship, January 11th at 8 p.m. And what is that? That's usually like a Monday night, right?
I think so, yeah.
Let me scroll down here.
It's always terrible because you're back to work and classes and all that stuff, but you still want to stay up. It is a Monday.
That's actually part of why I'm genuinely excited about when the Rose Bowl and stuff is going to be played. Is that's January 1st. So Rose Bowl and Sugar Bowl both happening on a Friday. Yes.
Got Saturday to recover. You're fine.
I do. Like I can I can stay up and watch TV.
Yay, and not get too tired.
Hey, listen, you do mornings, it's real. It's real.
Friday's the best.
It is real. So I'm excited about that right there. I just wish they wouldn't put the finale on a Monday night. But, who am I, Nikki?
It always is. It's always that day.
Why can't it just be on a Saturday?
Listen, they don't care. I'm sorry. Wait, what? Yeah, officially, they say it's not going to change their minds.
We don't care about morning radio personalities.
They don't care about Obi's and his thoughts and concerns about the national championship date.
That's okay. I don't care about Alabama.
What?
The football team, not the state.
Okay, all right. He loves the people.
I'm sure the people are fine. They just suffer from a statewide delusion.
The Riot. Not everyone's a fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
RadioU.
If you're in the Air Force, you're an airman.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the Navy, you're a sailor.
Yeah.
If you're in Space Force,
you are a
Guardian.
Okay. I thought we can't take that from Guardians of the Galaxy.
There it is.
So isn't that already taken, or is that why they're using that term?
Man, look at Space Force. Their little logo thing is the Star Trek symbol.
Sure.
And now they're Guardians of the Galaxy.
But isn't that good?
What? Stop!
I mean, it's space look for a reason. It's a space lingo for a reason.
Listen, I get it. I thought about that because, okay, you got to keep in mind, there is a significant overlap between design and fiction and what ends up happening. So a lot of times you see something on Star Trek and then it becomes a thing.
Yeah.
They point to the iPad, a lot of touch displays. Futurists work on speculative fiction as a way to get their ideas out. Then those ideas a lot of time become reality. Okay.
You understand all that.
I get it. But they have got to take a step back and realize that at this point they are just wholesale ripping off fiction. Okay? You're just ripping it off. On the one hand, I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it should be. You know what? Guardians or Jedi? Which one do you want? It's one of the
Take one or the other, because that's what you want to call people in Space Force. Well, what do you think would have been a better term?
I don't know. Soldier. Something,
Space soldier?
Something that feels serious. I mean, Space Force already. And again, listen, you have to understand that I am of two minds on this. There's part of me that loves it and I want to sign up.
Yeah, but I think that's why they're doing what they're doing. They're trying to hit a particular person who adores that style of stuff.
Nikki, you don't want me in the Army?
Well, they want you. They want you in Space Force. They want you a part of that side of things.
I'm fat. I got crooked arms. I got an attitude. You don't want me in space.
You're too set in your ways.
I'm not you don't want me.
You could be in an office position. You could be somewhere.
They'll be like, well, someone has to scrub the toilet there. T-Rex arms, get to work.
No, you would be a part of Radio Space Force. That's all it'd be. And you'd be the host.
The voice of Space Force.
Exactly. Hey, you're almost to space. You could be the voice of it.
Okay, I'm in.
And you don't have to be, I don't think we'd have to follow the same Guardians with their training.
All right, cadets, this is Obadiah, your guardian voice of the future.
Your guardian's guide.
Yeah, I'm going to take you through this. We're not Guardians of the Galaxy, but we're Guardians of the Universe.
Totally different.
Because, Marvel Comics ripped us off big time.
Yeah, not copyright infringement or anything.
I just...
You just didn't like it?
No, I'm back and forth. I love it and hate it. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a thin line between love and hate, Nikki.
I understand. I think the bigger side of you, though, is just so excited that there's a space thing going on and that I like taking from all the things that you love.
I think us going to space could be a potentially great idea. And I know everybody's like, we have problems down here. I know, but we can do both.
There's the ability to be up there too and do stuff.
We can do both. I mean, the government's just wasting money anyway. Let's go to space.
You might as well tag that on.
What do you think? They were going to take that space money and fix hunger? No, they were going to buy a golden toilet for the White House. It's fine.
So, anyways,
too real.
No, not at all.
Just starting to get out in some honesty there.
Going back to, so you'll be called Guardian.
Not me.
Well,
I don't qualify.
If you're in Space Force.
You show up and they're like, have you ever heard of Guardians of the Galaxy? Yes, then you're not qualified. Get out.
No.
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
The Batman sickness. We're workshopping the title. Okay, it's not perfect because it comes down to this. What's my problem with Batman? Every Batman TV show has everything but Batman in it.
So Gotham didn't have it.
Well, Gotham had a young
nod.
They had Bruce Wayne when he was 12.
Well, you're not actually getting the main Batman character.
I'm looking for
Established Batman.
Man. Okay. Real Batman.
That's always bugged you.
Oh, it bothers me, Nikki. It really does. Now, where were we? So with Batman, they have all these characters, supporting characters, but no Batman. Do you know what they just announced they're going to do? CBS is announcing that they're doing Clarice.
So if you remember the Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
And then there was Hannibal on NBC.
Yes.
And Hannibal went away. And now this is Clarice after the Hannibal stuff.
Yes. And they are not allowed.
This is probably, I feel like this is way worse.
To mention the most iconic character of their fiction. They cannot in any way, shape, or form mention Hannibal Lecter
in the new Clarice show.
Right. Now, this fiction may mean nothing to you. It was a movie that was popular, and as Nikki said, then TV shows and all this kind of stuff. So they're going to have a TV show about the FBI agent that was in those books and movies and all of that stuff. And the thing that made her famous and was really the villain, Hannibal, she can't talk about him at all.
But I think they're banking on the fact that you already still know that. So even though you're not actually seeing it brought up in the TV show, in your mind, if you're watching it, you know, oh, this is the Hannibal stuff and this is that storyline. Maybe they're hoping it won't be, they didn't need it like they thought they would.
Yeah.
Because it's not about her stuff with that. It's after that.
Okay.
You don't believe it?
Well, okay. Honestly, now I'm not trying to take away necessarily from Clarice's character, but at the end of the day, she is an FBI agent.
Yeah, they just
AKA,
want that to be.
This is just every other CBS show.
But it has still her name attached to it. That's it.
Okay.
So they're saying that for no other way to say it, but that they're banned. They're not allowed to say Hannibal in it because the characters, the rights to the characters in the novels are split between MGM and a production company who did The Silence of the Lambs. So those two companies hold the rights, and this other company can't have them.
Nikki, this is a bunch of BS.
Why?
Batman syndrome.
Now you have a term for it.
It's Batman syndrome.
So you can have all that, but without actually mentioning the main character. So they cannot mention Lecter, who will still be at large in the Silence of the Lambs world.
So she begins hunting some character whose name she can't use. We don't know who it is. It might be that famous person that you interacted with whose name we can't say.
They say that it can be quite liberating, though, because they don't want to write about Hannibal. They just want to have a new storyline with it. They're saying it's going to be fresh.
AKA, it's going to be exactly like every other show on CBS.
Well, they want a fresh one on that. So in case you were interested in seeing that coming, that's just what they've had to deal with in order to make this TV show.
BS.
Batman syndrome.
I think I feel comfortable landing on that.
That's what you're going to do?
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the Radio U network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
So what are you, Jason? An elastomobranchiologist?